Hello, I'm Jenna Wallace, Assistant Director of Graduate Career Development in the UTSA College of Business. Your resume is your first introduction to a company, and you need to make sure it represents your knowledge, skills, and abilities in the best possible way. In this module, you'll learn critical information about your resume's purpose, what format to use, what important information to include, and how to word it. Then you'll have the opportunity to upload your resume to VMock, our smart resume platform, and get immediate feedback on how to improve it. The goal for you is to finish this module with a competitive and compelling resume that showcases your unique skills and abilities. Let's get started. These days, just about every job you apply for will require you to submit a resume, and your resume has two important jobs. The first is to get past the machines. Then you have to appeal to the human reviewer. Most companies require you to fill out an online application and upload a resume when you apply for a job or internship. These go into an applicant tracking system, or ATS. There may be hundreds of applicants for a position, and companies rely on the ATS to screen out unqualified candidates. The majority of these systems use filters that scan your resume for keywords that are identified by the hiring manager. So your resume has to have the critical sections with the most important keywords to get past the machine. The next step is for someone, usually a recruiter or a human resources representative, to review the resumes that meet the criteria and select a number of them to be sent to the hiring team for further consideration. Studies show that at this stage, the reviewer looks at a resume for only 6 to 8 seconds, so your resume has to appeal to the human reviewer as well, getting their attention quickly. The rules of resumes have changed. It used to be that a resume was a complete list of every task you did in every job. But now, a resume is a focused collection of skills, accomplishments, and experiences that are relevant to a particular job. Your goal is to make it as easy as possible for the human to see the connection between your skills and the position you are applying for. The format you use is important. This is the template recommended by the CSPD based on extensive research of recruiter and employer preferences. It uses clear section titles, a common font with bold and regular text, and simple bullets that can be easily read and rendered by the online applicant tracking systems. Our Smart Resume Feedback System, VMock, bases the presentation score on this template, so it is critical that you follow it to maximize your points. It is designed to get the most important information into the top third of your resume, which is critical if you're going to get the reader's attention in those first seconds. Let's take a look at the different sections in the CSPD template. At the top are your contact details, centered. First is your name, on all capitals and bold. A street address is optional. The next line should list your email, phone, and LinkedIn URL if you have a complete and updated LinkedIn profile. Make sure your email address is a professional one. The first section is the objective or profile, which should summarize who you are and what you seek. Use a profile when you are not referencing a specific position, such as on LinkedIn or at a career fair. Use objective when applying for a specific position and include the position title and the company name. This should be customized for every job you apply for. The next section is the summary of qualifications. This is your greatest hits from all of your education, technical skills, and experience as they relate to the job you are applying for. You should actually write this section last, after you have completed all the others, because that's where you'll pick the most relevant skills and abilities to highlight. Next comes education. List the university, then your major in bold, and your expected graduation date. Include your GPA if over a 3.0. You can also list any relevant courses you have completed, but if you've completed at least one internship that's relevant to your degree and career goals, don't include relevant courses. Here is where you would list any immersion or study abroad experiences. If you have other degrees, list them in reverse order, most recent first. The next section, Projects, is an optional section. This is a good place to share skills and techniques you've acquired and tools you've used in an academic situation, but in a way that is applicable in a business setting. Pick 2 to 3 projects that are most relevant to the position you seek and structure the brief description to cover purpose, tools, techniques, and results. Now let's talk about experience. Experience should be listed in reverse chronological order, most recent thing first. For the first experience, write down the details. The role, like coordinator or assistant manager, the company or organization, and when you worked there. the month and year you started, and the month and year you left. If you're still employed, you would list that as present. The next step is to include 3 to 4 bullets. The critical thing is that this doesn't mean what you did, like managed client accounts. Instead, focus on key accomplishments for each work experience. You want to focus on your actions, what you did, and the results, what was gained, by the organization or customer. When you're choosing what to include, ask yourself these questions. Will it help you stand out? Did you accomplish something or make something better? Is it relevant to your objective? Choose bullets that show impact, achievement, and relevance. What decision makers are looking for are transferable skills, abilities that are needed no matter what the job or role was, things like teamwork, initiative, leadership, and problem solving. So it is important that you don't focus on tasks. Instead, focus your bullets on the skills that made it possible for you to do those tasks well. Let's look at an example. Say you worked as a social media coordinator and you were really good at getting new followers by promoting the social media accounts at trade events. How do you write this as a bullet? You could say, promoted social media accounts, increasing followers. That is action with result. You could also flip that around and say, increased followers by promoting social media accounts, result by action. Both of these are great, and by switching between the two structures, it gives your bullets some variety. But we're not done. Now you want to include some metrics, that is, some kind of measure or number that shows the scope of what you did. Achieve 20% increase in followers by promoting social media accounts. 20% is the metric. If you don't know exact numbers, do your best to estimate. If you don't have metrics, look for including specifics. In this case, the color coding system is the specifics. Remember, you're wanting to show the skills you use to let you do your job well, like accuracy, good communication skills, and managing multiple tasks. The specifics give more detail about you and the strengths in this way. In this example, the color coding system shows that you are probably organized, efficient, and think about processes and systems. If you don't have work experience, you could include things like consistent volunteer activities or leadership roles in student organizations to demonstrate critical skills. The next section is activities and honors. This is the place for activities like student organizations and teams and volunteer work. You should only include activities that show real leadership, commitment, or use of business skills, and not hobbies or interests. This is also the section to include scholarships and awards that showcase your hard work. And finally, additional skills. This is for competencies, things you could actually be assessed on, like foreign languages, computer applications or languages, any certifications you've completed, and special training you may have. This is not the place to list things like people skills or strong communication, because those are general traits. You want to limit this section to the things you can prove. A couple of rules you should remember before you start writing. First and foremost, your resume should highlight the value that you bring to a company. So for everything you consider including, ask yourself, what's in it for them? Next, you shouldn't use any pronouns like I, me, or my in your resume. And third, resumes use abbreviated language, so don't include words like a or an or the. This keeps it brief and easy for people to read. Finally, your resume should never be more than 2 pages. If you can, keep it to 1 page, but if you have 10 years experience or more, you can use the second page. The idea is to keep it brief and focused. Now let's talk about what should not be on your resume. You should never include personal details like your age, gender, religion, or race. It is illegal for interviewers to ask you about that information, so you certainly don't want to include it right up front. And you should never include a photo. Save that for your LinkedIn profile. Don't list why you left your last job or any salary details. And finally, you shouldn't include references or even the line references available on request. Everyone knows this, and you can save the valuable space on the page for more important things. And finally, once you've built your resume, you need to make sure it is perfect. Spelling and grammar errors show a lack of attention to detail and are a big reason for resumes being rejected. Do a quick check against the template to make sure you have all the required sections. Run a spell check. Check the formatting. Are your dates right justified? Margins the same all the way around? And things like that. And then run a spell check again. You don't want any errors to slow you down. Once you've checked and double-checked your resume, save it as a PDF. You are ready to upload it on VMock and get individualized feedback 24/7. You'll get customized suggestions on improving your impact, presentation, and communication of your skills. Now that you have a basic understanding of your resume's purpose, the format, what information to include, and how to structure it for impact, you're ready to craft a compelling and competitive resume that will help you on the way to a great internship or job. Have fun and good luck!